Alright, so we're going to start by making some hemp seed milk. You can also buy it, but it's just so much easier to basically just grind up the hemp seeds and, add some water to a blender. One thing I will say is that you don't have to do this if you have a high-speed blender. It's just you can see what blender I have, and that is not going to cut it. So I had to grind up the hemp seeds before I did this. I did a 1-to-1 ratio. I did the 1-to-1 ratio, which was half a cup of hemp seeds and a half a cup of water. You can reduce the water just a little bit to make it a little thicker, but it worked fine for me. So I did the 1-to-1. Just blend it up real nice, and that's the consistency I got, and that's what I'm looking for. Because remember, when you cook hemp seeds, they get thick fast, so you don't want it super thick while you're doing it. Then I have annatto, which is just for color. It's not like how some people use paprika for color. Annatto, that's what most people in companies they use to bring color to the food, give it more of a orangey texture color once it's cooked. And that's what it looks like. I was trying to mix it in, but I ended up just blending it. And then once I blended it, I just put it in the bowl, and you're going to set it to the side. That's what it looks like. Okay, now you're about to get your noodles ready. That is a crab boil bag I already had. I use them twice because basically they don't go bad after the first time, in my opinion. But anyways, you're going to put that on the stove and just cook your noodles to your pasta to whatever the instructions say. And while that's cooking, you're going to get your quote unquote crab meat out of the marinade that you had it in all night. I forgot to mention that I did marinate the hearts of palm overnight, and I think it was about 15 hours, but you don't have to do that. You can at least do 3 to 5 hours for your marinade. Once you have taken them out, make sure you cut them in half. And now that the water is boiling, it's just going to add a little bag. I got this little bag for 37 cents from Fry's grocery store, and it was a perfect amount. I didn't have to measure it at all. Now we're about to make our roux. I'm put everything in the description box, but it is 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. I did use the soy free. I've been trying to eliminate as much soy as possible from my diet. So you're just going to let that melt, and once it starts to bubble, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour to make the roux. Remember, everything will be listed in the description box, so don't be nervous that I didn't tell you. Just going to mix that up and let it bubble. Make sure you don't burn it, because that's not going to taste good. You're going to add a half a cup of milk. I used almond milk for this, but you also can use cashew, oat, whatever works for you. But almond milk seems to work the best for me when I'm cooking and stuff. Make sure you mix it really well too, because you don't want to put too much in it. I mean, you don't want it to not be mixed well, because sometimes you can get those lumps, just like if you were making gravy. Then you're going to add your hemp seed, quote unquote, milk mixture. Add that in there. Once you get all that out, you're just going to stir it. Most of this was stirring because mine just mac and cheese, and you have to keep it on a low temperature. Right now I have it on set to medium, a little less than medium. Now remember that water from the crab meat, you're going to put in a tablespoon into the mixture and just mix that up as well. Everything is coming together. Look at that cheese sauce. Now you're going to add that. Now the clip I did show me putting it in there. I don't know what happened, so you didn't get to see me put it in there, but I did put half of the Diaya bag in there. And then I used 1 package of this Choa cheese, all of the little slices. I used 1 pack. Just cut them up like that. You didn't really have to, but I mean, it make it easier for it to melt, because remember, don't turn it up high. You have to let it melt on its own. Just slowly melt. I believe it took me about 5 minutes to just let it melt on its own. It is definitely worth it when you get done, because remember, we're going to bake this too. Then you just add seasonings to taste. I'll list everything in the description box. And if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Now you're going to add that other half of milk. Half a cup. Sorry. And I decided to add a little bit more Old Bay, because remember, this is a Cajun, recipe I'm trying to make up concoction. So make sure you got that Cajun seasoning, in there a lot. Then I added some parsley flakes. Definitely brings color and flavor. And then you're just going to add your noodles, all of them. Remember, when you're cooking your noodles, you're going to make them al dente. Don't cook them all the way, because you're going to put it in the oven for to finish baking. Now you're just going to, I got a paper towel and just buttered the pan. And then basically you're just going to do the lasagna method and do 1 layer of the macaroni and cheese, and then you're going to add your crab meat, and then you're just going to keep doing that. Once you do that, you're just going to add more cheese to the top, and you're going to pop it in the oven. I did add some parsley and some Old Bay on top before I put it in the oven. I did put it in for 15 minutes, and then I added an extra 5. And this is what it came out looking like. Super cheesy and delicious. And you're done. Now, we're going to taste test it, and once you do that, it's all good. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, just share, like, and let me know. So that is how you'll let me know, just by sharing and liking the video. And thanks for watching. That's it.